Testing, testing. Hey, folks, how you doing? Welcome back. I just wanted to come in and have a conversation with you today, just because it was on my heart. And man, it's a beautiful wintry day. It's cold. It's probably the coldest it's been in 2 years. But I just walked in, and there were things on my head that I know I could only decipher them through my people, our tribe of introverts, adults, citywide people, uh, countrywide people. I know only our people. I can only articulate this to y'all. So here we go. We want to talk about holding decisions that are, you know, I said earlier in one of my shorts, having no loyalty to a bad decision. That's something that was learned early on. That's something that um, was ideal in the process of me growing up, man. So learning to not be loyal to a bad decision just based on our introversion, like based on the fact that we love to have these connections, and whether they bad or they good, man. For some reason, um, and for many reasons, we just don't want to go through the reconnecting again. And once you get a good connection, man, as an introvert, you just don't want to, you find excuses to hold on to that connection. Um, yeah, so there's just no loyalty to a bad decision anymore. I'll never be loyal to a bad decision. What happens is you wind up being in a position. Uh, whatever happened to me is I wind up being in a position that let's talk about first per se. We're adults. Let's talk about being in relationships and how you hold on to something that it's not good for you, but it feels so good. The comfort, the connection. It just feels like a great connection, and it feels so good. And it's not good for you, but it feels good. But the problem with that is you wind up standing outside of your character on a situation that you probably should have stepped into character, and you wind up um, coming outside your character. You wind up feeling good in the beginning and during the activity of it, the action of it. But we had those moments that most people don't have, and we're reflecting, and we're in our introversion, and we're thinking about at the back of our head, our intuition. God is telling us, that probably wasn't a good look. We're tough, man, and so we're trying to fight through it. We'll make excuses. We'll blame it on our introversion. We'll say it's the connection. We'll blame it on the connection. Um, people just not good for us sometimes. Some people just not good for some people. It is what it is. It has nothing to do with introversion or extroversion. Some people just not good for other people because of wherever they at in their life, and whether they're in a selfish point or they in a needy point or whatever. Some people just not that connection, just not a great connection sometimes. Um, and yeah, uh, you kind of dread looking for a new connection. But with anything that has to do with introversion, man, to me, everything is a challenge. This is why I say there's a new age of introvert coming. Everything is a challenge. And I look forward to challenges. And that has nothing to do with introversion. It has to do with a man, has to do with growing up, being an adult, um, being a woman, whatever. But as a man, um, I look forward to those challenges, man. It's in us to um, not lean on our emotions and all that. Like, we have enough blame for being emotional as introverts. We're not emotional, but we get blamed ever since we were children for being emotional, for for being sad, for being moody. Like these things are not true. They're not true for me. If they're true for you, let me know. But at this point, they're just not true for me. Those emotions are emotions that were given to us. My true emotions, I mean, you'll know. If you say anger, you'll know. There's no in between. There's no mood, and there's no, no, there's no in between. Either I'm happy or I'm angry. There is no mood. That's the thing that you know, I'm sorry, I had to write that down. It just came to my head. It was just something I'm gonna have to elaborate on later. Um, you're either happy or you mad. Like that's it. Like, and those are moods that these other moods were given to us. Like it wasn't nothing that we asked for. It's just how they perceive us. And sometimes as introverts, we swallow up what they be given, what they're giving us. That we take it in when it really should not be taken in. It's something that you really should leave outside of us. We shouldn't be in a position that we are taking advice from extrovert. And again, man, it's not them versus us, or it's not that. I love people, period. It has nothing to do with, I'm only speaking in terms of these titles because that's what they've given us. And I truly believe that those titles are going to hold less weight in the future. They really are. The more that extroverts learn to be introverted and the more introverts learn to be extroverted, I mean, I believe we all going to be a better version of ourselves soon. Like it's really a thing. We have to do it. We already have to do it in certain settings. We have to do it at work. We have to become extroverted and work. Some of them have to become introverted. Like it's already happening. It's already happening. And so the main goal is just to be figure out what our purpose is, right? What God's purpose is for us, and align it with your free will, and it becomes their will of God. And then listen, man. And I don't have all the answers. Again, I'm telling y'all, that's why we here. We're gonna work it out together. I'm trying to figure it out. Help me figure it out. Help me help you. Um, yeah. So a lot of those things are not. Um, a lot of those things are not of our doing. So you got to understand that, and you got to take the moments of clarification and listen, man. You are going to become the better version of yourself. It's impossible not to when you get into your own knowledge yourself. Like when you understand your traits, okay. Even as, again, I'm a God fearing person, but even the zodiac traits. I'm in Aries, just for clarity, which is a hell of a contradiction from an introvert, right? But I've been that in my entire life, and I do see the traits of an Aries. But one thing I always tell people, and the traits of an introvert is, I always tell people just because you're born with certain traits or you have them traits does not and is the end all and be all. What I've learned to do is fight against my traits. If they say, "Hey, you're a fiery person," or "You're this and that," I didn't just accept that and say, "Okay, I'm gonna take this label and be that." I'm not going to be a fiery person. I'm going to work on that. Same thing with introversion. Oh, you're quiet. You're this, that. No, I'm not quiet, but I will make a conscious effort to make sure I speak on what I like to speak on and speak at length, as long as it's clear what I'm like to speak on. So I challenge myself at every aspect of this thing called life. Every aspect of life, I try to challenge myself. I'm not just letting things go as they are. That's not what men do. That's not how it go. And that's why you use faith of God, because you know that if you have believed that whatever you do, and it happens, whether it happens good or happens bad, it was supposed to happen, and then you'll be able to get through it. It's a promise. You'll be able to get through anything that we've able to go through. That's what men do, unless we come outside of our character. So Yeah, that was just a brain dump for the day, yo. I'll holler at y'all later.